Hello! This is the seventh writing exercise in this series on practice writing in a flow state where the ideas and words are put to the screen as soon as the mind feels comfortable with expressing them. These exercises have already become a little bit easier, and I hope that the ease of writing translates to a more cohesive and better constructed train of thought. However, that remains to be seen, and I leave you to be the judge of that. As stated before, these ideas are what immediately comes to mind and therefore reflect a half-baked perspective and opinion at best. If you see an idea in the stream that you find interesting, great. If you find an idea that you think is wrong, also great. I really don't care. This is just me playing in my sandbox. I hope you have a wonderful day and are making your own efforts to attain mastery in some skill. July the 5th, 2024, writing exercise number 7. Writing. It is so funny how just a simple exercise can loom so large in the mind. But that's the nature of drill. I was just reading a couple textbooks yesterday that highlighted the importance of practice in drill. I feel very vindicated in this activity. I wonder if anyone else performs this activity. Really, I should say I wonder how many others perform this writing exercise in its various forms. If I'm not mistaken, this is a type of journaling. If that's the case, then I guess I took up journaling. The idea of timed writing is an interesting one. I was watching a video yesterday on the benefits of restraints in artistic ventures. The artists who constrain themselves to follow particular forms and patterns experience boosts in creativity and see no limitations on the originality of the work. Maybe I should practice putting restraints on this exercise as well, possibly only writing in an objectivist method or reducing the inner dialogue. But those restraints will come a little bit later. For now, I want to just play at the act of writing, like a kid in a sandbox. I don't want to have the extra restraints until I have wearied with the limitations of the exercise, or it seems that I am gaining nothing from the practice. As of right now, I feel as if I am learning so much through this practice. I am now trying to decide what I want to talk about now. Instead of letting my mind sit in silence, my restraint is that I cannot stop the flow of words appearing on the page. I have the feeling that the better part of my mind, the creative part, will continue to work and puzzle over what it wants to say, even while this lesser part of me, the chatterbox, continues to type away. That is what I feel like, as if I have multiple workmen in my mind that control the flow of the ideas and pull it this way and that. The chatterer, let's call him, feels the need to constantly write, almost as if it is slavishly following the original plan of viewing this as an exercise in spewing ideas on the page. It is confusing the activity for a typing practice. The point is to get as many words on the page as possible, at all costs. Clarity and cohesiveness can be flung to the wind for all it cares. Just get the stuff on paper. And you know what? I'm fine with that. I've ignored that chatterer for too long, because I knew it for what it was. A low-resolution, limited-effort attempt on the part of my brain and mind to just get something out there. I was too proud, and for that, I'm sorry. I wanted to be the better me, the thoughtful, comprehensive, and well-rounded ideas man who always considered things from the many angles and came up with solutions and answers that took all sides into consideration. This aim was a good one. I should strive to be the better version, the thoughtful man. However, I shouldn't strive to be that better version at the cost of circumventing the process of growth. The chatterer is a child, a novice, who just has the great excitement of knowing nothing beyond what it is currently looking at and talking about it for no lengths of time. We all know people whose very natures seem to embody this spirit of the enthusiast. It can be annoying sometimes. But the annoyance speaks to a deeper truth. That enthusiast is in each one of us. We all have the ability to express the chatterer. I don't know what else to call it, but if I come up with a better name for the mindset, then I'll update the term at that time. As I stated, we all have the ability to express the chatterer, and will often do so at the beginning of some experience or adventure. But as we progress on the journey, the chatterer gets tired, or possibly the pensive begins to beckon us to take things a bit more seriously. I like that dualism of the personalities. At least, I like the sound of those terms, chatter and pensive. That sums up the two spirits well. Anyway, back to the idea of the shift in perspective from the chatter to the pensive. The pensive begins to tell us that what can be seen on first inspection is not all there is. We should be more careful and take precautions against a misstep. Usually, the pensive begins to voice its opinion after we have had some bad or negative experience which sets us back a pace in our enthusiasm. Ah, now the pensive is in control. It tells us the best path forward is to be careful, cautiously investigate all the paths, engage with a lot of people who have made the journeys before, and then after much deliberation, tentatively suggest a solution and a way forward. From the above description, you would think that I dislike the pensive. The truth is, I do not bear that mindset any will either. I appreciate the necessity for careful consideration and thorough and exhaustive research. But, on the other hand, how can you judge whether the research holds up to reality or is up to date if you don't simply dive into a situation with no holds barred? Let the initial experience and the first impression guide you. As I'm typing these words, I feel a sense of repulsion at the very thought of following that advice. I almost can't say it fast enough that you must engage in that spirit of play and chatter, but in a controlled and regulated environment. Finally, we are rounding out the argument. To get back to the original point about constraints leading to creativity, I think that the analogy can be drawn to the above consideration of the multiple mindsets at work in the individual's experience. That was a pile of textual garbage right there. I must be feeling the stress of the timer ticking away because I am having a hard time trying to summarize the ideas. Let me try again. In the discussion on creativity, the necessity of constraint has been shown to enhance the originality and flowering of the artistic expression. The reason for this, I argue, is that when a constraint has been placed on the action of creativity, the individual is acting as a unified whole where both parts of experience and rationality are at play and work in harmony with each other. The artist can appease the pensive by following the constraints and can also appease the enthusiast by exploring in minute detail the space created inside the constraints. There. I think I summarized as well as I could. Phew! This has been the writing exercise for July 5th, 2024. It is the 7th writing exercise in this routine. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you have a wonderful day and seek out your own methods of boosting your creativity. Goodbye.